Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to rank all my Ensley eyeshadow palettes, and I feel like I have a lot. I have almost everything except like the very earlier ones. I think my first palette that I got from them was Harvest Moon, and everything has been given to me in PR. And you know how much I love Ensley cosmetics like formula eyeshadow. Formulas are absolutely top notch. Over the years, they've always just improved over the years. So I'm excited to show you. I have 23 palettes in front of me, and that is a lot. So buckle your seats. Let's begin. There is absolutely no palette that is of a bad quality. It is going to be according to the color story that I love. So if your palette is on the bottom, I am really sorry. It's just a matter of color story, which I like and which I do not like. I am a big on neutral person. I do not like much greens. I'm not a big colorful person. So you will see that in the ranking. So on number 23, we have the smaller pan eyeshadow palette. This is What the Fox. You guessed it right. It is a green palette, but I absolutely love these shimmers. And this brown shade, that's the most used shade in this palette. In this year, I don't think I've reached out for this palette a lot, maybe once or twice, nothing more than that, okay? So just keeping those aspects also in mind, the ones that I'm reaching out for most, this lies on number 23. On number 22, we have the Strawberry Moon palette. Again, it's a very colorful palette. If colors are your thing, this palette is going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, especially if you are more into that aqua greens, blues and pinks. This palette is going to be your jam. I generally do dip into this palette, especially when I'm duping the shades, trying to create like a vibe of a different palette. The shimmers are absolutely amazing. I definitely dip into these like holochromy shifty shimmers the most. These shades I am not a big fan of. Like, I do not wear these like mattes, and that's the reason why this is falling on the bottom. On number 21, we have the Twisted Tea Party palette. I love the shimmers of this palette, and I often dip into these shades because I absolutely love it. The tones of the mattes here in this palette is not my jam, and for that reason it is going on number 21. On number 20, it is the newest palette. I feel like this is the Shattered Looking Glass palette. Again, this color story is not me. I'm not a big blue or a yellow person, but I absolutely love the purples in this palette. That's what I reach out for most in this palette. I absolutely love these tones, and the shimmers that they are including nowadays are definitely more like thinly packed. It's not like squishy or textured. Not that I did not like it, and I do not have a problem with Ensley shimmers creasing on me. I have a creasy eyelid, but I never apply glitter glue on my eyes when I'm dipping into these shimmers. This palette, I feel like it's majorly the color story, but otherwise it performs beautifully. If you like the color story, you're absolutely gonna love it. I have several looks with all of these palettes on my channel. So that is falling on number 20. I'm not gonna say the ranking, I'll pop it on the screen. Next, we have Hoppy Go Lucky palette. This is another smaller tone palette. This palette is falling a little below just because even the shimmers in this palette, they're not like super multi-chromy. They're very toppery-like, very beautiful and elegant on the eyes and very dimensional, but they're not shifty. Of course, I reach into these shades more than the green palette. That is why this is more over like in the middle range, I would say. Now onwards, I feel like they're all till about Shattered Looking Glass palette. It was the eyeshadow palette that I would not reach out for much. Now we are into that bucket, which is, it's good, but it is not amazing. Okay, next we have the Glow palette from them. If pastels are your tones, this is absolutely an amazing palette. Again, I'm not a big pastel person, plus also the pastel tones doesn't pop on my eyes much. Also, I feel like this palette lacks depth. If I want depth into this palette, I have to reach out for this blue, which is not my preferred way. I don't want every look to be blue focused. That is why this is ranking a little low. Next, we are running through it if you cannot feel it. I don't want this video to be a million years long, but also this is my color story. That is why. The next palette that I have is Lands of Enchantment 2 palette. Beautiful, beautiful. Again, a pastel color story, but the shimmers here are absolutely magical, and this is falling a little above the glow palette just because I feel like here we have some deeper tones to deepen out the look and several different tones. So you can get more like pinky toned or like a bluer eyeshadow look or a purpley look, but also with pops of pastels. But the shimmers here are absolutely magical. I love, love, love this one. Next we have small but a mighty palette. I love the shimmers of this, and this is Nutty by Nature. This is more of a neutral. Now you can see it. Okay, so these neutrals I absolutely love on the eyes. You can see the shift that is happening here. And I feel like if you want like a taste of the medicine of Ensley Rain, these smaller pan eyeshadow palettes are absolutely lovely. I feel like the best format would be going to like dip into the 12 pan, if not the 21 pan. I really, really love these two. Okay, the next one, we have the Bougie palette, which was this year's Halloween palette. Now I feel like here, of course, it's colorful, but these are the only two shades that I do not reach out for much, but rest all of the other shades are very, very beautiful on the eyes. They're extremely, extremely dimensional, and the multichromes in this palette are absolutely breathtaking on the eyes. And that is why this has jumped up the ladder in the ranking. Next, we have the purple palette, the smaller purple palette from them. And this is the last small palette. I feel like this is the Hedgehog palette, which is the mauvey, purpley color story. Absolutely love the multichromes, love the mattes in this palette. They're absolutely beautiful. This is so, so dimensional on the eyes. Would highly, highly recommend it. Again, you can definitely get a mauvey look, a purpley look, a everyday like a taupey look, but also with this pop of bright yellow. It just takes the look to a different dimension. I really, really love it. Okay, next we have the first 21 pan eyeshadow palette, and these are my favorite just because we get variety. It's not too large, but also the formula is top notch for me. Next we have the Flower Moon palette. Again, this has a lot of green shimmers, but also you will see another palette with a lot of green shimmers, but I absolutely love it. So it is like one of the top palettes in the ranking. But these shades are absolutely amazing. If you love grungy mauvey tones, like I'll dip into this palette a lot. Like I love these mattes so very much. The green shimmers not so much, but I love the purpley tones here and the neutral tones here. Absolutely amazing. Okay, the quality is now phenomenal. It's absolutely beautiful. Next we have the Harvest Moon palette, which was my first palette from them. This is such a beautiful fall tone palette with deep grungy mattes, and the shimmers are also absolutely breathtaking and shifty. The first time I swatched this palette, my jaw was on the floor when I got this, and this was my first experience from Ensley Rain, and this was absolutely wonderful. This poppy orangey shade, it glows on your eyes. It's so pretty. This sweater weather shade, this beautiful holochrome red shade, these are absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing quality palettes. I really, really love it. Next we have more of a bigger palette from them, and this is right in the middle of the ranking, and this is the Cosmic Dreamer. Now I can actually break this palette into several different sections. I love the tones that were selected in this palette, but as a whole I do not reach out for this palette much. But whenever I'm breaking this palette and I'm rearranging it to my color stories that I like, I often reach out for this, if that makes sense. Like I often love to wear these tones here. Not so much greens, but these grungy tones are absolutely amazing. Love these chocolatey brown tones here. Really, really pretty. And again, the quality is absolutely beautiful here. Nothing to complain about that. Okay, now we are dipping into the palettes that are absolutely amazing. If you like the color story, you're not going to be disappointed. This is where I struggled with my ranking. I was like, what should I put here? Because I love each and every one of them in this ranking. Now, let's move on. The next we have the Flourish palette. If you are a colorful wearer, this palette is beautiful. It's poppy, it's colorful, it's punchy. The multichromes here are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love the shimmers of this palette so very much. And even if you are craving some colorful looks, this palette is absolutely beautiful. Would highly recommend this. Next we have the last pastel palette of them, and this palette knocked my socks off because again it was pastel palette but it had so much of richness in it. Love this one. And this is Lands of Enchantment palette, their original palette, and this definitely takes the cake for me for the pastel-y palettes. Like, it has some gorgeous tones here. Absolutely one of my favorite palettes from them. Love that there are so many rich tones here that can take the eye look to a different direction. But obviously this palette could have been shortened according to me. Like, we don't need two pinks, two minty greens. Like, I feel like we could have definitely condensed this palette a little bit more, but nevertheless the quality is there. The mattes, the shimmers, everything just performs absolutely amazingly. Next we have the 12 pan eyeshadow palette, and that is the Snow Moon palette. These are one among my favorite palettes. Of course, there's a lot. I feel like you need to be a cool tone person to love this palette, but the shimmers take the cake for me. I often reach out for Snow Moon in my everyday life, especially for office looks. I love this. I generally do pair this palette with some other like neutrally toned palettes in my collection and then pop one of the shimmers here, and that's all that you need. Like, there is no way I wear this palette and I do not get compliments from people. I absolutely love this. Love this. There are some sparkly, like dimensional metallic shades, but also some sparkly toppery shades here. Very pretty. Very pretty. Would highly recommend that. Next we have another 21 palette, but this is more like a spicy neutral palette from them, and this is Light in Your Eyes. Again, I feel like this is a little bit low than like the top palettes, only because I feel like there are mustardy tones, there's more grungy tones, and the shimmers that are included in this palette like scream from the rooftop for this palette. And I am not a person who would wear such, it's like more like a Minka palette shimmers, like the original Minka palette shimmers, and I feel like this would, like, people from the moon can see this palette. This is amazing. If you love those kind of shimmers, you would absolutely love it. Next we have another 12 pan eyeshadow palette from them, and this is the Flutter palette. This is such a unique color story. I could not rank this any lower because I reach out for these shimmers so much in my everyday life. Like this shade, every shimmer in this palette is amazing, but I also love the tones of mattes that are included in here. They're absolutely beautiful. My favorite shade from there is this one. It's so pretty. This is called Moonflower. Such a dimensional shade. Oh, I love it. Love it. Whenever I'm traveling, that shade is definitely coming with me. The next palette in the ranking is the last 12 pan eyeshadow palette that we have in our collection, and that is the Wolf Moon palette. Such a beautiful palette. This ranks on number 5 for a reason. Top 5 is absolutely amazing. Like, you can choose which palette you want and you'll not be disappointed. Love the tones here. You know how much I love the muted tones, but the shimmers are absolutely amazing. You know I love my mauves and grays and those muted berry tones. This palette just packs a punch on the eyes. Beautiful, amazing quality palette. Would highly recommend this one. On number 4, we have the Whispering Woods palette, and this is a warm tone, colorful palette. It screams summer and fall to me. I really love the tones. Yes, it is more green leaning, but there are different tones that can give me different directions. Like, I love the olivey, grungy greens. It's not like, the only green I feel like that I do not wear is this kind of green, but rest everything is more like a grungy and an olivey side, which I absolutely love. And the shimmers here are absolutely smooth, beautiful, not textured by any means. I really love it. Absolutely beautiful. On number 3, this I never thought that this is going to rank so high when it was revealed in the first time, but this palette is absolutely beautiful. This is Underlint palette. It is a deeper palette, but I love that they included this white here, because with that inclusion of that white, you can definitely lighten up any mattes of this palette. but the tones of the mattes and the tones of the shimmers just take the cake for me for this palette. Like, I love this palette with my whole heart. Absolutely love it. If you are looking for a Halloween palette with like deeper tones, look no further. You will not be disappointed with this palette at all. Like, this shade is so pretty. So pretty. I absolutely love this palette. On number two and number one is totally on the color story that you like. If you've not guessed, you know what is my number one and number two. I really love both of these palettes. On number two, I have the Cold Moon palette from them. This is a cool tone lover's dream. I love this palette so very much. I feel so pretty when I'm wearing this palette. The shimmers are loud and in charge. They shimmer and shine like no other. You can see the dips that are happening in these shades. They're absolutely beautiful. Like, the dimension on the eyes, if you love a grayed out neutral tone matte, you will love this palette. Absolutely love this palette. I often feel like these tones of mattes will not show up on my skin tone, but there is no shade in this palette that do not show up on me. Absolutely none. And the shimmers are truly amazing. Like, one of a kind. I absolutely would recommend this if you are more of a mauvey, purpley, cool tone wearer. This palette is beautiful. And last, certainly not the least, this palette falls on number one for me because I dip into these mattes so often. Granted, the shimmers are more green leaning, but I could not look past the mattes. The mattes are absolutely amazing, and by far this is the most used palette apart from Cold Moon in my collection. And this is the Groovy Garden palette, and these tones of mattes, you guys, they look magical on the eyes. Absolutely magical on the eyes. Taking nothing away from the shimmers. The shimmers are absolutely amazing too, because I am not a big green person and I feel like there are so many similar greens in this palette. Like, this definitely shows like a bluey pinky shade. This is like a punchy, like a aqua green shade. This is more of a neutral orangey shade, but these are all pretty much, it's not the same, but it is definitely different tones of the neutrally green leaning shade. That's the only thing that I would say, but I cannot look past the mattes. Like, there is absolutely no mattes that I would not use. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and the quality is top notch of this. So I had to recommend Groovy Garden on number one. So that is my ranking. I know that they are coming out with a new palette. I do not have it in my collection, but I wanted to do this ranking because there were so many people asking about the ranking of Ensley Rain palettes in my collection. So I wanted to do that for you guys. But that's all for today. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You guys have to let me know what are your top 3 Ensley Rain palettes that you have in your collection, and are you eyeing any of this? If I made you mad by ranking your palettes in the bottom, I'm really sorry, but that is my color story ranking that I would prefer. Okay, but that's all for today. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.